Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time is But a Window. So I know what you're thinking, what are solo queue strats? Well, as we all know, sometimes you're playing Counter-Strike and you're just paired up with a team of potatoes. Those guys that are usually either brain dead or unwilling to cooperate with you. Still though, you want to win, and you're going to have to find a way to give your team that competitive edge. These are strategies you can do by yourself to help you win rounds and possibly even win the entire match. Now first up, we have the simple mid take. Now you really only need a flash to execute this, but it's best to have at least a flash and a molly, and if you have a smoke, that's even better. Now the first part of the strat, if you have a Molotov, is to get behind this box. You can either come through lower or come down middle, but just try to stay alive. Now all you gotta do is line it up with the bottom of the second square and throw it right off this door. Now, as you can see, the fire gets the entire left side over here, so they're going to have to move away. The second part of this strat, and most important, is to throw this flashbang. Now, keep in mind, when you throw this flashbang, your job is to actually peek out when it explodes, but you don't want to be looking at it because if you have your back to it, you won't get blinded by it all the way. Also, it's important to know what this flashbang actually flashes. It'll flash anyone in CT spawn who's watching the door, or someone to the right of door up close. So this should allow you to come out middle, and if you want, you might even want to attack someone in CT spawn. But if you have a smoke, there's another thing you can do here. By ducking down behind the box and aiming this smoke at the window, you can actually block off the entirety of CT spawn. Now you can do this immediately after throwing the Molotov before the flashbang, or you can do it after doing both and checking up close. Now your best bet at taking a site is to cross middle over to the right side and make your way towards window, but be careful of someone hiding behind the boxes over here right outside of the door. That being said, you don't actually want to nade the box, you just want to sneak over there so that they don't get alerted to your presence. The next strat we're going to go over is solo pit control. This allows you to go into pit and hold long so that your teammates can work up cat if they decide to do so. You're going to need at least a smoke for this, but a smoke and flash is optimal. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is throw a smoke to block off the corner at long. All you got to do is jump up on this box and line it up with the box in front of you, and you can just kind of throw it right over. Now if you have a flash, which hopefully you do, you just want to throw it off the blue container, not over the wall. This will actually make it so that you can flash the guy up on the close right side. Now hopefully there's not a guy pit, but if there is, you're going to have to fight him, and throwing a nade into pit isn't a bad idea, but you're going to want to try to take control of that while the smoke's still up, so keep that in mind. And that's about it. Now you're in pit, and if your team does take Catwalk, you can pinch the site. Now let's say your team has been taking long and failing at it over and over again. What can you do to help them? Here's another strat for long, which helps you take the site. Before we start with the nades, I just want to remind you how important it is to check the car. Now, whenever you're taking long, you're always going to want to have a smoke grenade so you can cover the cross so that people can get into the site without getting shot. Now, if you have a Molotov, try to throw it right past the first box, but not too far away. Even landing it right on the first box isn't bad. Though I don't think this Molotov that I threw here quite went far enough. Still though, regardless of the Molotov, try to pre-fire these two spots, right behind the single box and that headshot spot behind the double box. Once you get into sight, make sure to plant for long. Now you're going to want to try to flash your way out and cross before that smoke dissipates and get to long. Long is one of the most powerful positions to be on this map, and the only thing they can really do to counter you is to smoke you off. Also, if your teammates are still alive in sight, make sure you're watching your long flank. Now while we're working on taking the A site, let's talk about doing a cat take. One of the best ways to win a round is to catch your enemies off guard. Now what you're going to need for this strat is at least a smoke grenade, but having a flashbang also is very helpful. Now when you throw your smoke grenade, make sure it lands just barely in front of the box. You want to make sure that it's close enough to the wall to cover up you completely so there's no cracks. Follow that with a high flashbang through the smoke towards the site. Now you're going to want to jump off, but not be seen until the flashbang goes off. As such, you're also going to want to look away from the flashbang so you don't become totally blind. The most important part about this is that you're not spotted while you're dropping down. Now you'll be in CT spawn and you should be able to take out the guy in middle and work around from there. Now let's talk about a solo B take. This one is very effective against most players, but it's also the most technical. You're going to need a smoke grenade and a flash. Now first you're going to want to throw a smoke grenade right out through the tunnel, and it's supposed to land on the right side next to the double box. Now the next step is the flashbang. There are two ways to go about this, one of which you throw it at the counter-terrorist because you know where he's located. The other one, if you're not sure where he's going to be, is you throw it into the smoke and jump up onto the double boxes. If you do throw it into the smoke, make sure it's far enough forward so that it can also get the person over to the right by the car. The last one I'm going to go over is more of a simple tip. Basically, you don't want to let the CTs take advantage of certain locations on the map. One of which I find most important, is lower B tunnels. So even if no one on your team is going B, it's always a good idea to clear out lower B tunnels. Remember to check to the left of the stairs and to check behind the box, as that's where CTs like to play. Thank you for watching my solo queue strats on Dust 2. With these, you should be able to work up the ranks in no time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and have a great day.